what we are seeing this previous class, we are talking about the XHTML so far, and we have seen that XHTML, the basic structure, and how you can define the basic tags. There is something, as we have seen in previous class, we have used something called as doctype. Okay, in a structure of HTML document, this is the doctype is important, and you should use whenever you are going to write HTML based application. Either it's HTML, any website or web pages you are going to create, you should define the document type definition, because it will tell to the browser that what type of document you are about to process. Okay, so this is the actually use of doctype, and generally you will see that doctype will be using generally in the capital letter. Okay, so it is, the meaning is the document type definition, so which tells to the browser that what type of documents it's about to process. That means what type of document you are going to process in the browser. So we know that very well that we will be seeing the result on the screen, that means on the browser only output. As I mentioned the previous presentation, that you are going to use the tag is tag symbol, exclamatory symbol, and you are going to write doctype. So this is the declaration that you have to use. This doctype declaration, as I mentioned, that it's help the browser to display the web pages correctly. And also, whenever you are going to use doctype declaration in your web pages, this should be defined only once on entire HTML page. That means only one page you are creating. If you have one page, two page, three page, so on the first page, only one time doctype should be there. It's not that you can define multiple times doctype. Okay, that's what it say, must appear once at the top of bottom, as we have seen in the previous presentation, that we are defining the before the HTML tags, and it should be always before the HTML tags. And this doctype declaration, as I mentioned in the previous presentation, that it is not the case sensitive. Even you can define with the small letter. That is not a problem. And this doctype declaration for HTML5, what will be there for HTML5? See, the thing is that there is two various version of HTML we have currently. That is, one is the basic HTML and one is HTML5. So these two is there when you create the web pages. I will show you that how we used HTML doctype tag, how it will be the HTML5. Already we have seen that HTML5, that in that how you are going to define the doctype. And in HTML5, as I said, you are going to just write doctype and HTML. It display that this page, whatever you are going to define, that is the HTML5 based web pages. You can see the example which we have already seen in previous class. That is the first step, as I mentioned, you are going to define at the bottom of the page. Okay, so always you have to use at the bottom of page, that means before the HTML tag. Okay, and then you are going to define doctype HTML. As I mentioned, you can define the HTML tags. So whenever HTML will open, you are going to close. So best practice always you open and close. You can define the language is equal to English. It is another attribute. If you want, you can define. Otherwise, you can leave also. Next, you have the head tag. So whenever head tag open, head tag will get closed. So within the head tag, as I said, you'll be having meta tags. You'll be having title tag. You'll be having link tag. You have a script tag. These many tags you can use, and there are several other different meta tags are there, like keyword description and other things are there. Whatever you need, that means which required validation, you require the style sheet, that all will be linked, and that code, that is tag, will be available within the heading tag, that is the head tag. You can see that meta tag character set you are using, that is the UTF-8. Then title tag. So title tag, you can define whatever the title you want for the particular page, as we have seen in previous class. Then the link tag, that means whenever you have the CSS, that is cascaded style sheet, then you can use link tag when you want to link. Okay, that style sheet will be different page, that will come to the next. And then REL, nothing is for relevance. Relevance, what is the relevance? That means what type document is? It is document is a style sheet. And hyperreference, that means where this file is located. So this is located in CSS directory. Inside that we have the main.css. Next, a script. That means if you have any JavaScript, then you are going to write a script, src, that means source, which location the particular javascript.js file is available. Close the tag, you can see here. And link tag, you can see that opening and closing is the same together. That is, the link tag is one of the container, sorry, standalone tag or empty element tag. And finally close the head tag, then body tag, and I'm using the head1, that means h1, and you are closing h1. So there is the h1 to h6, total 6 tags are there for defining different font size of h1. And then finally you will be having a body tag, that means we have closed that body and close the HTML. So this way you can define the HTML5 based basic HTML code. Okay. Now when we talk about head and body, right? You have seen that in the previous. If you see here, I'm defining head, I'm defining body, and other other codes are there, tags are there. But when you talk about HTML5, whenever you are going to define a website or web pages with help of HTML5, then in HTML5, it does not require the HTML head and body tag. Without that, HTML, it does not require HTML head and body elements. You can directly write the code that will appear directly on the body. That means it will appear on the browser. But most of the developers continue to use them because it's a practice, and they like that, okay, by this way we can understand, okay, what we are defining. But actually in HTML5, it doesn't require at all. That means you are going to define the HTML head and body. Without that also you can write. This HTML we know very well. Just now we have seen that. That means it will contains all other HTML element in the documents, as we have seen that in previous slides. Head, what is the use of head? Head will contains all the descriptive element. What is the descriptive element? That means like document. So about the document, what document you are going to use, like such as title you are going to define, you are going to use style sheet, you are going to use JavaScript files, and etc. Whatever you want, that there are several meta descriptions are there that you are going to use. And the last important, that is the body tag. So body tag will contain whatever the content you want to display on the browser. That means you want the output that will be displayed, that will be written inside the body tag. That is the item number 4 as per the previous slides. Then some more common elements we have to learn, as we have seen that the meta element. What is the meta element? That meta elements, nothing, it's a declaring that you are going to use the character, that is the encoding for the document UTF format. That is, if you see that there is a several UTF format are there, like UTF-8, 16, 32, and different language also you can use, like English, German, whatever you want. But generally we use like UTF-8. So this is the meta tag you can define. Then, as you've seen that we have specified some external CSS, that means linking the CSS. That means a style sheet you have on different page and you are linking to the particular HTML pages, and link that is used for the document. Next, we talked about JavaScript. JavaScript, that means you are going to call that how you use a function call. The same way here, we are using the JavaScript file separately, and I want that JavaScript to be called on my HTML page. That is called as using external link. You can call that. So that is like a script, and opening and closing will be there for a script. Both will be there. Here you have another example. The first one you can see here. We have not written any HTML head tag. Only we are using body tag. So what I'm doing, I'm just using a H1 tag. That means heading tag. H1 and H2 tag we have used. Then we have used another paragraph. Okay. Then we have used another paragraph where I'm using some hyperlink. That means I'm giving the linking from one page to another page. That means any other website I'm linking. And you write whatever you want. So I have written something. Then I want a text that should be strong. I have given the bold letter. Then close this paragraph. Then I want some image to be used. Okay. I'll use the image tag. That is the image tag is img. src is equal to where that particular image is there, and give the specify alternative tag. Then again I have used h3 tag. Okay. I'm using another tag as a division tag. In that again you have another paragraph. I'm using the time format. Okay, that is also one of the tag. Then again paragraph, close the division. I'm using HR, that means horizontal rule. Okay, then again I'm using division tag. Okay, and then I'm using another paragraph with the time, and at the bottom I'm going to write another paragraph which is having the copyright. That means a small letter you want, so you write just small. And copyright. For copyright, you have seen that you'll be having everywhere copyright symbol will be A, and like this it will be written. That is the copyright symbol. When you want this copyright symbol to be used on HTML, then you are going to use ampersand symbol, copy, semicolon. Even similar way, if you want a space, it will not take the space. So you have to use NBSP semicolon. Then it will take a space. And whatever you want in a small letter, it will fill. And finally close the body tag. This is the picture of HTML elements. Any questions so far? Guys, any questions so far?